Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Look, don't get freaked out what you see on this screen. A lot of you love when I talk about things, sci-fi, supernatural, conspiracy things. I have a couple of videos like that you love so much. And look, I told you, I used to be into a lot of things and I hear a lot of things. And one of them is about the reptilians. Reptilians, aliens, UFOs, and look at the screen. I mean, apparently some people say that they're shapeshifters. This is how they really look. And some say that they come from the star system, Draconius or Dracon or something, the Drakes and all that, Dracula drinking blood, eating humans. And then you have the reptilians. Some people believe that, oh, certain bloodlines have RH negative blood and they're shapeshifting reptilians. Other people say, oh God, no, they live in the inner earth. They're on earth already, in the inner earth, the hollow earth. Other people say, no, they walk around just like you and me. They can shapeshift. They look human. They run the world. Our world leaders, people are claiming, are reptilians, and other people saying that they love hot climates, and that's why you see climate change happening, because they're trying to terraform Earth like their planet. I've heard it all. I've even heard people say that they created human beings. They came to Earth and mixed their DNA with the monkey and all this other craziness and grafted and made the humans to mine for gold, because their ships depend on the energy of gold to fuel their spaceships and all this stuff, and that they created humans to be a slave race and then they got tired and left. Look, I've heard all of this, and I want to show you something where it's literally on certain movies and TV shows. And I'm going to show you something near the end of this that, well, maybe not near the end, we'll see, but it's going to shock you, because this movie, you can only find it on Tubi for free. And some people have seen it, but what they don't know is that the entire film was about reptilians. They don't know that. People who have seen this movie multiple times, they actually don't know that it's actually about reptilians, and I'm going to show you that. But let's get into the first video. This woman is claiming that she has seen a reptilian. She's seen the reptilian at the gym or whatever. Let's see what she's saying in a few videos, just a few videos about reptilians. Where do they come from and all this other stuff. And some people believe that there is a UFO, a mothership on the way this month. They're claiming that the aliens are black people. They look black American, coming off the ship, 7 foot tall, coming to Earth. Other people said, no, it's not them. It's the reptilians that's coming. And all of this stuff we're seeing going on in the news is a distraction, because they're coming. So let's get into it, baby. Let's see the first video.
All right, y'all. So I'm back with another story time. Now, this is something that I have been really on the fence about, because I'm scared. I'm scared to talk about it. But I keep feeling led and compelled to tell y'all about this. And y'all seem to be interested in my weird stories and paranormal experiences and travels and all types of things. So I'm just gonna get right to it. So I truly believe that I have encountered a real life reptilian. I know it sounds crazy, and if you don't believe me, just skip the video. You don't even have to listen to it. I promise you don't. But I'm just gonna tell you anyway. So there's this lady that goes to my gym. I know her name. I'm not saying it. I am scared. And I hope that this doesn't go viral, and I hope that she doesn't see it. And some of y'all go to my gym. So basically, I wear crystals. I usually have more than this on, but I like to switch out my necklaces. I don't wear the same ones all the time. I always wear the moonstone, and that's because my mama gave this to me, and I love my mama. That's my best friend. I always wear this every day. But I usually have on more crystals. And the first time I had this encounter with this woman, I'm going to call her Kay, because that's where her name starts, with a K. And she's a really skinny, blonde woman, very small. But my first encounter with her was, I was on the hip adductor where you pull your legs in, and she was on the abductor where you go out. So she was next to me, and I was, doing my exercise, and then she just looks over me and she weighs me down and she goes, "Hey, how are you doing? I was like, I'm good. She was like, I love your crystals. I was like, oh, thank you. She's like, why do you wear those? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, why do you wear them? I said, different crystals have different meanings and purposes, you know. She's like, so why do you wear them? I was like, well, this one's for protection, this one's for my heart chakra, this one's just to keep me covered, you know. Like, I was explaining them, and she was like, why don't you just wear a cross? I was like, because I don't want to, you know. Like, I believe in God, but the meaning of the cross is something different to me than most people, and I'll explain that in another video, but I just don't really want to get into all that right now because that's not the purpose of this video. I was like, you know, I just choose not to. She was like, so you don't believe in God? I was like, yes, I do. And I was like, but why does it matter? She had a cross on, which is fine. But let's skip past that. And as I'm talking to her, I noticed that she has these really icy blue eyes. So I told you she has really icy blue eyes and super blonde, like platinum hair, right? As I'm looking at her eyes, I'm thinking about how beautiful her eyes are. And she's very like, kind of like aggressive when it comes to like questioning me about my crystals and my beliefs and stuff. And I'm like, it really ain't none of your business if you want to be all the way real. And I'm in the middle of my workout. As I'm looking at her eyes, I notice how beautiful they are. And as we're talking, her eyes do this. It's almost like when she blinked, her eyes did this. Like, she blinked this way, and then when she opened her eyes, I noticed that her eyes blinked this way. I cannot explain it. And then when I noticed it in my mind, I'm like, what the? That's what I'm thinking. What the? And she kind of smiles, almost as if she can hear my thoughts, y'all. It scared the hell out of me. And I kind of like pushed back a little bit, and I was like, well, you know, nice talking to you. I'll finish my workout. And so I turn back around and I go back to my workout, and then I notice her weight. Y'all, I'm pushing about 110 pounds. This woman is half my size. She was pushing 200 pounds. Effortlessly pushing 200 pounds. Multiple sets. I'm like, this woman is strong as shit. And I was like, this is weird. And I'm like kind of looking over to the side, and she's smiling at me still. While she's pushing the weights, I swear she can hear what I'm thinking. And so I quickly finished my set, and I go off to tell my husband. He was like, what the hell? And then as I'm talking to him, I look up, and she's looking dead at me, still smiling. It scared the hell out of me. So after this day, I encountered her again, and she waves or whatever. And then I'm like, oh shit, that's the reptilian bit. Like, that's in my mind. And when my husband, like, I'm like, babe, that's her. So he's laughing and making fun, but I swear, anytime I'm thinking about her or saying something about her in the gym, she smiles. So this was like a couple months ago. I stopped seeing her for a while. I've been seeing her again recently, and she's always wearing sunglasses inside of the gym. And every time I see her, if I'm walking in the direction she is, I turn. I'm terrified of this woman. I don't know why. Her energy feels weird. I don't think she's human. I don't think she's human. I think she's a reptilian. And so anytime I'm around, I'll test it. So like the last time I saw her was like 2 days ago at the gym. And in my mind, I'm like, if you're a reptilian, move your hand. And why does heifer lift? She lifted her hand. She lifted her hand. And I was like, she's a reptilian. She's wearing sunglasses in the gym. She's strong as shit. She can read my mind. I know she can, and I'm not crazy. Call me crazy all you want. I'm not crazy. It's true. I know it. And I know she's not the first one I've encountered like in passing, but she's the first one that I know for a fact is not human. And she knows I know, and I think she finds joy in knowing that I know and that I'm scared. I am covered. I'm protected. Nothing can harm me, but I think she knows, like, she finds joy in knowing that I know her secret. And why the hell are you wearing sunglasses in the gym? You are trying to cover your eyes because I noticed that they are starting to shift more in public. Like others like her, especially on TV, for some reason, certain types of technology or stress can bring their true form out. And I know that she's starting to struggle with keeping her eyes normal. I will never forget it. And don't ask me to take a video of her. I'm scared. I don't want her to catch me. I don't want her to see this. I don't want her to be like, yeah, bitch, I know you know my secret. I'm going to take you out. You could believe it or not. You could believe it or not. But it's some scary shit going on. And I'm aware. And those of us that are aware, y'all gotta be careful. Shit, I might not even post this. I don't know if I'm gonna post this. I'm scared.
Now, I have to say, I don't think that she's lying at all. There are so many of us who have had supernatural experiences or experiences that you can't always explain. And it's been said for a long time, there are all types of things on the planet that you have no idea is on the planet. Things that you think are humans, you think they're human beings, and some of them are not. But the thing she says does line up with a lot of reptilians having super strength. That is true. Also, reading minds, baby, the video clip I'm going to show you. That's how I also knew this movie. Well, this movie is about reptilians, and baby, I might just after this video right here, just get into that movie clip and then we'll get more into the other stuff. But baby, the fact that she said, move your hand, and she moved her hand, and I had heard that they like negative energy, they like fear. It's actually some sort of energy allegedly that they feed off of. Literally, it's a feeling and it gets them high type of thing. That's why people said they like to eat little ones and all that types of stuff underground, and they have technology and the government is working with them so that they don't eat up all the humans and all this craziness type of stuff. So what do you think? You know, she made this video. She was scared to maybe even post the video. And she says she keeps wearing sunglasses. Now, she recognized that her eyes changed and maybe something is malfunctioning. Remember that movie, They Live? They Live. It's a classic movie. I think it's on Tubi too, about the aliens all over Earth. And the guy had on sunglasses and he was actually able to see them in their true form. And their eyes, and they were cooperating with the government and all types of stuff. So let me show you the video clip, because I have other videos I'm going to show you. Let's jump into that. This film, I've talked about it several times. I love it. This film, baby, is a hidden gem. It's a hidden gem. It's so damn good. And some people are discovering it. Some people didn't know about it because it wasn't promoted that great. It's a Clive Barker. Clive Barker is the creator of Hellraiser. Very, very classic author. And basically, if you don't want to know about this movie, skip over this because I'm going to tell you. I have to give you the spoiler because you won't understand. I highly suggest you still watch this film, even though I'm literally telling you right now what's going on and what's happening. I have to, because people who have seen this film again, they don't even know it was about reptilians. Yes, you saw creatures, but they're like, okay, this craziness, these creatures are around New York City and the earth and all this, but they don't know what the creatures are. You see, some people who know, we know. Most of your average person that sees this, they don't know. The film is good as I don't know what. They just don't understand all of what the creatures were and what was really going on. So if you like to watch movie reactors, tell them about this film and tell them it's about reptilians. At least tell them that, so then they might research and they'll understand a little bit more. Even if you don't, it's still a great film if you didn't understand what was really going on. So basically, we know people are missing all over the United States, all over the globe. This is facts. And what you don't know with this film, you have heard with the reptilians, there's the organizations, the government who work with them, and some of them who are them, shape-shifting that look human and live off human flesh, and people screaming and bad energy, the boule, the elite, all these secret societies, the Rh negative blood, and people who supposedly really run the world type of thing. So you have Bradley Cooper right here, okay? Now I'm going to talk real fast so we can get through this. Bradley Cooper is just a regular guy. But what you see through the film, once you really pay attention, see, reptilians can read minds. They have everything planned out. What happened to him was not a coincidence. It was set up that way. They have these powers and stuff. So again, he's a regular guy in New York City, a struggling photographer. And he wants to get a really good job doing photography. And he ends up following this guy, mysterious. And he finds out he's a butcher, or so he thinks, but he knows something is not right here. Something is not right. And he photographed a model. These gang leaders or whatever were messing with her. They were going to hurt her. And he took the pictures. They left her alone and she ends up on a train. See, there's a certain train at a certain time where people are missing all over the city and nobody knows what happens to them, but the news is reporting different stuff. See how the news is involved, just like off that movie They Live. So when people go missing, certain people will create fake stories about how these people went missing and all this other stuff, so you don't know what's really going on. Long story short, he follows this man he thinks is the butcher, but something is going on, and what he sees horrifies him on the train. Okay? But it was all set up because the guy that's doing it, he can't do the job that much. So I'm going to play the video clip so you understand what's going on, how they put this stuff right on movies, and a lot of people don't even know. They don't even all know what's really going on. Let's get into it. Also, again, it is free to watch on Tubi. Tubi, you do not have to pay for this streaming service. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your computer, your TV. You just sign up with a password like any other website. Free. Tons of amazing films and films that people want to see that they're like, where can I find it? It's on Tubi. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so hold on. Okay, you see Brooke Shields. Anyone who has seen this film, guess what I think? She was a reptilian because everything is planned. Okay, so he goes to her because he wants to work for her. Listen to this.
What interests you?
City. Because no one's ever captured it. Not the way it really is. The heart of it. That's my goal. That's my dream.
You're failing. You were at the right place, weren't you?
Yeah.
But not the right time.
She says, okay, you were there. You were there at the right place, but not the right time for certain things to happen, okay? And you're going to see why I believe that she was in on it. She was a reptilian, okay? Just keep watching, baby. Okay, so that's the butcher coming out. The guy on the subway, when he first saw him, he didn't know what he was a butcher yet. So he's out in New York City. He's trying to find pictures to capture the things that go on in New York City, whether it's gang leaders, whatever, to show the art and the grittiness of our world. He's standing there just waiting for him. He knows he's following him. Now that's the part right there that people didn't catch. He's wearing the Reptilian star. I actually saw this in a video where that star on his ring represents the Reptilians, their group, their organization. Is called the Reptilian star. You won't see a lot of people talk about it, even right here on YouTube. But yeah, he's wearing it on the ring. There's a reason they made sure you saw that part, but the average person has no clue that that's what it was. And I'm gonna prove this even more.
And they never find the bodies because he takes them here.
He butchers them? Baby,
Oh my God, look at this.
Listen to me, I'm sure.
Look at this, look what I found.
So he started investigating. He thinks he's a butcher. And this is from the newspaper from years ago. It says a killer butcher investigation held on City Hall. So
some guy was accused of kidnapping.
Guy who worked
Maybe
in the
it's
same
a century
meatpacking
ago.
plant. The
It's
guy
a
who worked in the
century
same
ago.
meatpack.
She says, what are you talking about? This is a century ago. This cannot be the same man.
Plant.
What are you saying? Are you saying that it's the same person? Is that what you're saying? Because I don't understand how that works.
She got abducted. This is the train she went in on. That's his hand. You know how I know it? Because I took another photograph. That's him. This is the guy, Maya. It's been happening. There's been abductions. It's happening.
He says there's been abductions all over the city, and it's him.
Before. I don't know if it's a copycat, but it's him, and I got him.
You know what's going on, okay? This is all fake, okay? It's not.
His girlfriend, now remember, I have to keep pausing for copyright, but I have to explain to you, she thinks he's out of his mind. This is craziness.
No more. No more night shoots. No more, please. Just day shoots. I don't want you to shoot terrible things. I want you to stop with the conspiracy theory. I want you to stop with the butcher. I just want you to shoot the stuff that makes you happy.
Okay, so what happened was she started to believe him a little bit. She went to the butcher's house, his apartment, okay, her and her friend, and then she stumbled on something. That's from long ago, the train station, the scheduling of the train, who's driving the train and all of that. $1912, 1900 or something. I can't see it that great, but the early 1900s. This is old. Now she's going to the cop who her boyfriend has spoke to before. And I want to show you something with this.
I just received a report from an officer on scene. I went to the room you gave me. There's nobody there.
But that can't be right.
I met the tenant in the lobby. He let them examine the place, and he'd been out the whole day.
No. He's a butcher. Leon says that he slaughters people. He kills them. He's seen it, photographed it.
What are you talking about?
I know it sounds crazy. I didn't believe it either. But I was in his room. I saw the tools he uses.
Okay. Let's talk about what really happened. The tenant said a family heirloom was missing. An album. He wants it back.
It's a timetable with a check for every murder going back 100 years. You cannot give that back to him. It's the only proof we have.
Let me see it, please. The tenant doesn't want to press any charges. He just wants his property back.
I don't have it. Jurgis does. You have to find Jurgis.
Look, you've already admitted to breaking and entering. That's very serious. I could hold you for that alone.
If you do not go back with me, I'm gonna go back with someone else.
And you'll be arrested, Miss Jones.
Okay, hold on. You see how that cop is acting? But if you pay attention, she's also wearing the Reptilian star. It's on her necklace. The Reptilian star was on the butcher's ring, and the Reptilian star, she's wearing the necklace. You see, not everyone is involved with this, just a select few who know about them. And she's trying to tell this woman, she doesn't want this woman really going to the police about her friend missing and the meat train and people missing on the subway and stuff. See, she's the one that changes the stories. When people go missing, she's the one, the newspaper and the news change that story. Okay, she's the one involved to make sure that happens. So people don't find out. Okay, so here he is at the gallery with that woman, Brooke Shields, who I believe was a reptilian. Okay?
Like to meet Leon.
Andy thinks you're more like a painter than a photographer.
All right, so listen to what they just said. They think you're more of a painter. We think you're a painter, not a photographer.
Andy, that's very perceptive of you. I actually started out as a painter.
Because they know They can tell the future. They know everything. They can read minds. That's why I never caught this until recently. Okay, now I know Brooke Shields, her character was one, and they're them too. That's why they're like, oh, you look more of a painter. He's like, how do you know that? That's very perceptive of you. If you watch the film and after what I've just told you, then you're like, oh, okay, now we understand what's going on. Because they're preparing him to be the new butcher, to murk us, to feed to the reptilians.
Duty calls, if you'll excuse me.
I'm not holding my breath on that one.
When she said that, I'm not holding my breath on that one. That's because he couldn't do the job anymore. They needed a new person to murk us, to feed to them.
A tad too bleak.
I got a train to catch.
Leon, are you there? That butcher. I think he has Jurgis. I mean, that cop detective.
Miss Jones.
Tell me.
Do you have any idea?
And that's what she said. Do you have any idea? Do you know what the hell is going on? Of course she doesn't. It's not about getting the book.
Where is Jurgis?
He's on the train. 14th Street. First one after 2 o'clock.
She's sending her on the train knowing damn well what's on the train and where that train is going.
Please. Step away from the meat.
Okay, remember they look human. He's one of them. He's a reptilian. People are hanging on the train for them to eat. They found out now his girlfriend knows, oh my God, you're not crazy. Listen. Look at them. There it go. There they go after they shapeshifted. Now they're true form, unless they're underground in the subway, but I don't think they look human. But there they go. Look at them teeth.
Welcome.
So the butcher, the first butcher is telling him, welcome. Welcome to our club, our world now. It was all set up that way. He lifted him off the ground with one hand. They're super strong. Remember the first video, she said that woman weighs half than her and is lifting 200 pounds. He lifted him up with one hand and he's ripping his tongue out. The butcher before him also didn't have a tongue because they ripped his tongue out. You are going to be quiet about this. You ain't going to never be able to tell now.
Before you were born, or the birth of any other human thing, that's how long. Or longer. And now you found us. As only a few before you have. The intimate circle that keeps the secret. We protect and nurture them.
Okay, he said before a human being was even born, that's how long we have been on the earth. And now you found us, and most of you never found out about us. He says the few that do, we protect them, we nurture them, we take care of them, and order is preserved on earth.
And order is thereby preserved. It must be done. To keep the world separate. You'll understand soon enough.
So he's holding the heart in his hand. He wants to eat it. That's why he's licking his lips. He wants to eat it. Baby, can you imagine finding some shit like this out? And he doesn't even know they're reptilians. He doesn't know what the hell is going on. He thought he was following a butcher that was kidnapping people and murking people on the train. Now he's finding out something that your mind would never recover. First of all, seeing some shit like this and somebody grabbing you with super strength and ripping your damn tongue out and taking the heart out and stuff and seeing all these bones everywhere. Absolutely not.
Serve, as we all do, without question.
He's telling him now, serve like we all do, without question. Don't question a damn thing. You're going to work for us and do what we tell you to do. Holding the heart in his hand. There you go. Now he's putting on the ring, the reptilian star. He's putting it on now. They got him now.
Police say and Mr. Tompkins are only missing at this point.
Okay, they're on the news. Him and his girlfriend are allegedly missing. They wipe away everything. It's an organization. You don't exist no more. He has a new apartment and everything. And who is sitting there? The cop that's in charge of making sure these stories get changed.
Although foul play has not been ruled out, opportunities and meetings are scheduled.
She's handing him the book that they all get of the schedules of the train. Sort of like some, well, the whole club and the group thing. Now it's yours. Now you're doing it.
The developments in this story.
Look at her face. I'm gonna zoom in, baby. I'm gonna zoom in. This is actually the last part of the video. Look at her face. She's heartbroken. She's scared to death herself. She has to work and do it, because if they don't, can you imagine if they come out and everybody sees them? And they're eating people, they're stronger than you, they can tell the future, they can read your mind, and they control stuff. So she's terrified. And she's sad because she knows what just happened to him and his girlfriend, and there ain't nothing she can do. So, you know, I don't know what they told him to get him prepared to do this, because when you see something like that and what happened to him, I don't know if the higher ups in government, a small few of them got together to have a meeting with him to explain what the hell is going on, where they're from, what has happened, and why we can't say nothing. We can't say nothing. That's literally what it is. She is heartbroken and terrified her damn self. But they got to do it. They got to keep feeding them, us, the human beings, to keep order and for human beings not to know that they exist. Imagine what would happen with religion too. If they found out like what they know, do you know what would happen if people were to see something like this? Religion would end within a day and it would be insanity. But then again, I don't know if it's more of them than us humans. Okay, so she has to work. Look, she works for the police department. People in the police department don't even know what she know and what she's doing. He said only a few that find out. I would love a part 2. I would love to know her story. How did she find out about them? Okay. But yeah, so that's what happened. So that was the end. Now he's the new butcher on the midnight meat train. Now, normally I don't want to give a movie away the way I just did, but I had to do it. I had to do it because most people that see this film and love this film and couldn't believe the ending, because no one was expecting this at all. They still don't even know that it was actually about reptilians, not underground or creatures walking around, and all this other stuff. Yes, they are, but they don't know that it's about reptilians. They don't know they're wearing the ring, the reptilian star, on their necklaces and on their rings. Most people on average wouldn't know. So I told you about the movie, but you still got to watch it, because there's other parts of the film I didn't even talk about. You need to see the whole thing. But when you see, now you'll understand, oh, reptilian, she told us, oh, you got to see it. So let's get into the other videos about, people think that aliens are coming this month, and they think that it's black aliens, 7 foot tall. Other people like, oh, no, 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 no. It's the reptilians coming and all this other stuff.
Here's some information spoken about reptilians by government officials and ex-government workers. The reptilians are known to be part of a grander empire that goes by many different names, mainly the Draconian Empire, which is basically a dark force. They have been visiting Earth since its creation, and they have been known to do genetic experiments on humans and animals, especially during the time of the dinosaurs. They have been known for infiltrating less advanced planets by first offering technology in exchange for resources, because they know that these civilizations are looking for technological advancements. Infiltrating planets from the inside is their specialty, and it is easier to take over civilizations using this technique, which is exactly what they're doing for Earth. This is why you hear a lot about elites being reptilians or having reptilian connections, because they're doing this exact same technique for Earth through the elites. Apparently they have a hierarchical system which includes the elite reptilians having wings, and I keep hearing about this through government officials, CIA agents, people who channel ETs, and it's even depicted in movies. Throughout my research, I keep coming across that at the top of their hierarchical system are dragons, and they haven't polarized the positive or negative, they're neutral. So many shamans have told me this too. They have chosen to advance technologically instead of spiritually, meaning that they have chosen not to advance spiritually at all and repel anything related to the universe and love. This is very common for lower vibrational civilizations. This may also surprise you, but not all reptilians are bad. There are actually split off groups that are high vibrational and are traveling far and wide across the universe to help civilizations like ours. Overall, I want you to know that this civilization has millions of years of history in our universe, and especially on our planet. If they aren't one of the most ancient, they're one of the most dangerous. Overall, I want you to know that this civilization has millions of...
Okay, so what I thought about is that some people believe that in the Bible, they believe the serpent, they believe the devil, the serpent, they believe it was a reptilian. There are people who believe this and said, oh, his form changed because he was a shape-shifting reptilian. I mean, these are certain things that I have heard, and he said, oh, they don't operate with... they're more into technology and stuff like that versus being loving and all that. So they can be cruel. I've heard again that they feed off of negative energy. They like hearing people scream and all this craziness. Or it reminded me what he said of Independence Day. He said they come to different planets doing experiments or maybe trying to take over and all that stuff. And that happened on the film Independence Day. And I mean, what do y'all think? Do you believe that Draconian, Dracos, reptilians, do you believe that they really exist? Have you ever seen anybody's eyes change into slits type of thing? I mean, I think that anything is possible. Anything is possible. Listen to what this man had to say.
Hey, yo, peace, Jamel. Just come right back at you. Some of Hey, yo, peace, Jamel. Just come right back at you. Some of that real talk, real fast, man. Hey, man, some people are starting to ask me about the East Indian being related to the reptilian, due to the fact that I said that the first people that came out of the water and that formed into this thing that looked like humans, they looked like East Indians. Now, here's the thing. The East Indian was not referred to as the East Indian. That came much later. That came much later. But prior to that, these beings were coming out of the water and they were evolving on many different parts of the land.
Now, I have heard people believe and say that they've seen UFOs coming out of the ocean. I've even heard people say they believe that human beings, we were in the ocean first, and then we evolved and came out of the ocean. He's saying that's the case of reptilians, that they were in the water and then they came on Earth and then started evolving all over the place, type of thing.
And some of them went through a couple of different processes of evolving, because there's some people tampered with some of them, not all of them. But don't get stuck on thinking that the East Indian is the first person. No, these people look like East Indians, but they were everywhere. Everyone. And then someone asked me about if we have, if the East Indian has more reptilian in them. And man, again, all of us who have come through the natural process of creation have that lineage. All of us have reptilian in us.
Okay, he's saying it's not just the East Indian. He said they look East Indian and they was all over the place. And he says, oh no, it's not just them who look East Indian. He said, no, it's all of us. We all have reptilian up in us. That's what he's saying.
Later on today, I am going to show you images to help you get a clearer understanding of what was going on. Because man, we had reptilians, and all of them, they were not disagreeable. And many of us has mixed with them. Now I will say this about the East Indian. He does have fables about them in human form mixing with these dragon-like reptilian creatures.
He's saying that our species as human beings mixed with the reptilians. We were laying down with them. These reptilian lizard-looking people, we was laying with them and having smecks with them, baby. I mean, look, anything is possible, but do I fully believe this? No, but there are people out there who do.
If I can find those pictures, I'll show that to you too. But anyway, this is your man, El Judge, man. Have a peace and blissful day. I hope that cleared some things up.
NASA finally captured the first images of 3i Atlas, and it is putting the scientific community into a tizzy, including myself. Look how clear this videographer is. They said that 3i Atlas is now close enough to Earth that they were able to position the James Webb Telescope to shoot some photon protein fiber beams at it and capture this. And
okay, so this is what they're saying is on its way to Earth. They didn't know if it was a comet, a mothership, or some sort of celestial thing. And people are claiming that it's an alien mothership, okay? They're claiming that, I heard it's supposed to be coming this month or maybe next month. We shall see. I mean, I've heard these type of things all the time. Nibiru was supposed to happen years ago and it didn't happen. And other people are like, they're not on the ship. They're already here on Earth. I'm telling you. And then other people are saying, oh no, it's 7 foot tall and 10 foot tall aliens that look like Black American people. That's what people are saying as well. As a matter of fact, look what this man had to say about hearing that.
So there's a rumor going around that NASA said aliens are coming and that they look like tall Black Americans. That is very false. There isn't any official NASA statement saying this. There's no press release, no scientific paper, no published interview. NASA's official press archive and U.S. Federal Register returned 0 results for this claim. The claim originated from a fringe video and was spread across TikTok, Threads, Reddit, and low credibility websites. The name most often mentioned is Norman Berggren, but no verifiable quote or source connects him to that statement. I've checked Berggren's book, Ringmakers of Saturn, and every public interview. None mentioned race at all. In one late life interview, a heavily edited clip that mostly circulates on UFO conspiracy channels, he does briefly describe beings in an image as appearing very dark in color, but he never calls them African Americans or links them to any human ethnicity. Even if you don't trust NASA, and I don't trust NASA at all, the point is, even NASA didn't say this crap. And this just doesn't apply to the tall black rumor. The so-called Nordic or tall white aliens, tall blonde fair-skinned beings said in UFO lore to be from the Pleiades also have no credible evidence from NASA, government sources, or peer-reviewed science. That description began in it was like the 1950s, and the contactee stories in the 1960s and 70s abduction accounts. And it was reflecting cultural imagery of the time. Just like with the tall black story, even if such beings exist, they're not part of any human ethnicity. They would be their own. The fact that people are taking a baseless claim and repeating it without question is one issue. But what makes this worse is the need to assign an Earth-based race to something not from Earth. Human beings are so narcissistic that we can't imagine intelligent life without projecting their own identity politics onto it.
I mean, look, I didn't believe everything that I hear. I didn't see NASA give an official statement that the aliens are, well, first of all, there's no way they're Black American. If being Black American, our group was created during the 1500s in America. These are older things, way before the existence of our ethnic group. Also, I mean, I believe that aliens could look, I mean, look, people say that they're humanoid aliens, and I say, look, if they have a sun wherever they live, then yeah, a lot of them probably have melanin or some sort of skin color. But if they live far away where there isn't a lot of sunlight, then they probably are pale, you know? That's just what I think. I think some of them might have a color like being blue or a copperish red, and some are brown, and some could be very pale. I think, again, it depends on if they have a sun again. I don't know if that sounds crazy or not. I don't know. That's just something that came across my mind. But yeah, there's diversity here on Earth, diversity with the animal kingdom, and I believe there's diversity with aliens. We've heard about the tall and the short little grays and all that with the big eyes and stuff. So let's see what someone else said real quick. Okay, they're showing, this video shows how they put it on TV. Okay, they said this is in plain sight, putting it on TV. It says the visitors have arrived, but they're already here. The reptilians is already here, is what they're saying.
Visitors had arrived.
I remember this show. This show was called V. I think it's called V. So they presented themselves as human to you know, to calm you down. They look human, and they came on the planet.
Peace, always.
I have something to show you.
Okay, so they're just tearing his skin off like it's a piece of paper. And he's a reptilian. Looks human, but under the skin is reptilian.
One of my own people tried to kill me.
Oh God, look at him. So they're all reptilian. And that was a traitor. And she said, one of my own people tried to take my life. A fellow reptilian. Look at him. Can you imagine seeing something like that?
Fifth column. It's spread throughout the fleet.
We are continuing to keep a close eye on 3I Atlas, a Manhattan-sized interstellar object believed to be a comet getting closer and closer to Earth.
I'm waiting to see, because we are in the month of November. I think we shall see what happens.
Take a look at the new images of the object appearing to have lost its tail. Some scientists now theorizing that this is a new indicator that 3I Atlas is no comet, but potentially an alien craft. Well, just under 6 weeks from now, it's set to get close to our planet, relatively speaking. And as several scramble for more answers, theoretical physicist and Harvard professor Avi Loeb called on NASA to release its new images of 3I Atlas. He shared this with us last week.
The best image was taken on October 2nd by the high-rise camera on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. And unfortunately, the argument is because of the government shutdown, this data was never released. It doesn't make much sense for the politics of the day to sabotage the progress of science.
So what does this mean for all of us here on Earth? To help get some answers and some perspective, we are joined by world-renowned physicist Dr. Michio Kaku. He's co-founder of the string field theory, author of Quantum Supremacy, How the Quantum Computer Revolution Will Change Everything. Dr. Kaku, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And let's jump right into this. I want to start with the new images of 3I Atlas, not from our own NASA. We are still waiting on those. These ones are out of Spain. Some are noting it looks like this object has lost its tail after passing the sun. What's your take here? And if there's no tail, does that mean this is indeed not a comet?
Well, I have my own point of view on this, and that is that this is a very old object, perhaps 7 billion years old. And in 7 billion years, there's been plenty of time to accumulate garbage. That's why, for example, the nickel content of the comet is off scale.
I mean, so basically they don't know what it is. They don't know if it's an alien. They're saying that, you know, it's been out there for 7 billion years probably. So it has rocks and dust and all types of stuff following it. All right. So yeah, they're saying that they don't know for sure. This could be, some people think it's an alien ship. We don't know. For all we know, it could be a massive comet coming and they're not saying anything. I mean, I don't know. Okay. So that is basically it. We don't know for sure if it's a comet, a UFO, what's going on with that, but there are people who believe that is, well, reptilians. They believe is black aliens, and most of all, you know, we don't know for sure. Well, we don't know for sure. We just don't know for sure. And I showed you the video of a woman who said that she's seen a reptilian and that they are here. There are people who have said, look, they are here. They have it on the movies, like the Midnight Meat Train, that they are here already. And all these missing people and kids and stuff, they said that some of them like children because their blood doesn't have all this contamination. You know, when we eat and what we drink as adults, our blood has all types of stuff in it from eating this. And children, I mean, children don't always eat a healthy diet, but these are things that I have heard, even though they take humans, adult humans too, allegedly. Some people said, you know, the whole government is involved in it. They're kidnapping people to keep order. They got to keep feeding them people so that they won't reveal themselves to come up under the earth or just reveal themselves while they're walking around and all this stuff. Some people will say it can't be. It's fiction. These things don't exist. This just doesn't exist. This is the devil. Just focus on a religion or Jesus or something. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. The missing people ain't real. The missing kids ain't real. It's all an illusion. They're not really missing. This is what some people believe, even though what we see is not true. People are missing a lot, and it's not being really talked about or an investigation type of thing. And people are saying, look, I've heard other people say, look, I've seen this. I've seen it in person. I've seen the eyes change. I know they exist. I know they exist. They're from Draconian. I remember Betty and Barney Hill. Betty and Barney Hill, they're very famous for being abducted during the 1950s or 1960s. But I think they said that the aliens they saw were from Zeta Reticulus or something. Zeta. I don't think they had looked like reptilians. I think they look like grays. Yeah, they're the grays. They say are from Zeta Reticulus, Zeta something. And, you know, that their species was having problems reproducing and stuff. So they collect human DNA to try to have a hybrid race to save the species. I've heard this type of thing. And the crazy thing is that when Betty and Barney Hill had said where they were from, at that time, the scientists had never heard of the planet until years later they actually have discovered it, Zeta Reticulus or whatever. No one will ever know the full truth. We can always wonder and guess. Will one day, if aliens exist, will they actually reveal themselves? I don't know. I mean, I've been hearing for years that they're coming, Nibiru and all this other stuff, and they don't. And others said, well, y'all, they already here. They look different. I've heard people say they love Halloween because that's when they actually get to walk out looking how they really look, and people think it's a mask and it's really what they really look like. I've heard people say, oh, celebrities, when you see these videos of celebrities who look like people from 200 years ago, oh, that's them being a vampire. It's just people who didn't pass away and they keep living and they're aliens and all this stuff. And they just keep working in Hollywood and you keep seeing them over and over again. Every couple hundreds of years, they disappear and all of this stuff. I mean, you know what? I bet you there are people who investigate all of this. I'm talking about everyday people who have their groups who are trying to find out the truth. And some of them probably go missing too and crazy stuff happening. And I mean, the only way people would find out is through doing investigations themselves. And a lot of people are way too scared to even get involved, or if they go in too deep, it would probably scare them like I don't know what, and they would go into hiding or just stop doing it. Some people say they want to know, but if they really know and find out, they probably would never be able to sleep at night again, finding out the truth. So, I mean, look, when I saw this movie, The Midnight Meat Train, I said, oh my God, something in my soul believes this exists. I'm not going to lie. Something in me says, what if they just putting it right here? Because they know you will never, you ain't going to never believe this. We know y'all not going to believe this. A train that completely goes somewhere else at a certain time and people going missing, and people within government or cops covering up the story so you don't know. I mean, how do we know that ain't real? What if it is? And it's not just in New York, like off the movie, it's the whole damn world. All of that, you know, going into national forest, missing 411. Everyone is missing every time they go into a national park type of thing, and all types of craziness you hear about, wormholes, time changing creatures, people seeing stuff. And all I have to say is that anything is possible. So with that being said, baby, with that being said, if you want me to talk about anything regarding supernatural things that's kind of scary, you can leave that in the comments section. Anything you would want me to look at. And but yeah, reptilians. I heard about them for a while, besides the Greys and the ones who look like Nordics and stuff like that. And and some of them saying, oh, we're mixed with reptilian DNA and all this stuff, and grafted and all this stuff. What do you believe? Do you believe in reptilians? Do you think you have seen a reptilian? And do you think the human beings will ever really know of their existence? Do you believe they're from the planet Draconis or something? And that whole, you know, the myth of Dracula from the Draconians who drink blood, and that's where Dracula came from, the vampire type of stuff. What do you think, y'all? Do you think it's a bunch of nonsense? Do you think it's nonsense? Or do you believe, as they say? Do you believe? I think all I have to say is that I really believe that anything is possible. I always say it's 50-50. I've seen and have experienced things that's considered supernatural that I'm not even talking about on this video, that some people would believe, no, that's made up. Things like this doesn't happen. Okay. So I don't believe that human beings are the only creation in the universe. That makes no sense. We're on planet Earth with all these different species, animals, cute little fur babies, everything. Even us as humans, yes, we're 99 point something percent the same. That 1% we look a little bit different and all of that stuff. But I believe in diversity as far as creation. I believe that there are other things out there besides human beings and peeps. There's something on other planets wondering, are we alone? Just like we wonder, are we alone? And we don't have the technology that we know of to be able to reach another system within maybe a year or two type of thing. I mean, I have heard that our government has technology that's like 50 to 60 years ahead of us that we're seeing. And maybe they already are up there. We know they have the space station and stuff. And I don't know. Then I hear other people saying, oh, no, we can't leave Earth. The firmament. God said in the Bible there's a firmament and there's water above the galaxy or the planet Earth. I don't know about that because there's no water falling down besides when it rains from humidity. But there are people like, oh, no, we can't get up out of here. There's a firmament up there. There's something stopping us. We can't even leave Earth, baby. The whole moon landing was fake. That was something they put on the TV to make you think we could do something, but we really can't go. We can't go. We can't leave the planet. There's some sort of wall or something up there with water above it or below or something. I don't know. And we can't get out of here. I've heard that. Do I believe that? No, not fully. But there are people who do. And they believe that we're not even traveling in space, even though we know there's a space station in space. At least that's what they say. So there's a lot of different beliefs going on here, what people think. So what do you think again? Do you believe in reptilians? Would you want to meet a reptilian? Because they said some of them are not all evil and some of them are. Baby, you would probably pass out if you saw one of these things in person. So Let us know what you think. Do you think they're already here on Earth? Do you think they're here on Earth? So that is it, everybody, for today's video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and tell me, what do you think about this reptilian? She said she saw one, and other people said they're here already. What do you think? Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell and click all notifications so you know when I'm live and when I'm uploading. Talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody.